Top One Piece villains. Hey everyone, GoGo Anime here. So this is a list of villains, major antagonists only. What I consider least evil to most evil. They must be a main antagonist of an arc to be considered. They are determined by the cruelty of their behavior as well as the redeemable qualities, if any. Starting the list, number 27, iguelion. Now, he was just doing his job, but he was the main antagonist through the whole arc of Impel Down, and he was willing to do what it takes to get all of his prisoners back. Now, number 26, moving on very quickly, Buggy. He's a typical pirate. He's selfish, he's violent, but cares about his crew and is capable of forming alliances with rivals. I'm very interested to see how his character develops going into the Shichibukai system collapsing and what's going to happen with him next. 25, Alvida. Typical pirate with a slightly more cruel edge than Buggy. Quickly forgettable character, but nonetheless she was there during the first era of One Piece. 24, Katakuri. He's ruthless to his enemies for sure, but he's very protective of his family, has a sense of honor, and is magnanimous in defeat. I was going to put him at least evil, but what he did to those chefs was pretty nasty. Now moving in pretty quickly, 23, gekkomoria. He's what a pirate should be, lazy, selfish, and ruthless. He cares about his crew and even suffers from the loss of his previous one. 22, Bellamy. He was a very cruel person but has changed his ways. 21, Blue Jam. He's a really bad guy, but he's a bit too pathetic and sad for me to rate him any higher. Taking the number 20 spot is Morgan. Oppressive tyrant who is capable of killing children. The thing is, he didn't always seem to be that way. Being hypnotized by Kuru may have had some lingering effects. 19 is Big Mom. She's a seriously mentally ill and was nice before her child trauma. She may be a very cruel person now, but her vision of how the world should be still isn't bad. Number 18 is Akinu. Killing pirates is what he's supposed to do, but killing civilians is not. He is an extremist with a twisted view of what justice is. 17 is Arlong. He's a selective sociopath. He has no empathy whatsoever for humans, but cares about his fellow fishermen a great deal. Halfway through our list, number 16 is Marshall D. Teach. He's without morals. Murdering a crewmate and double-crossing your crew of 20 years is despicable to say the least. I don't believe he cares about his own crew so much that he is loyal to them. Beating out Blackbeard for the 15th spot is Wapol. Now Wapol, totally coward, extreme selfish, and oppressive. Cares for no one but himself. He seems somewhat disturbed by Shirahoshi's attempted enslavement, his only semblance of morality. Now 14 is Crocodile. He was fully capable of mass murder and showed no care of loyalties to his own subordinates, except for maybe Despones. The thing is, he probably has lived a life of crime from a very young age. It's somewhat understandable that he is compatible and completely numb to taking lives. He is shown to be somewhat changed man, capable of alliances with enemies. Beating him out is 13, Enel. Arguably the most vain villain in the series. He cares for no life but his own, and his behaviors reflects this. I guess he might have somewhat changed his ways. He doesn't seem all the oppressive towards the moon people. Beating him out is the current main antagonist, Kaido. Now Kaido, there isn't much that he isn't capable of. Nothing redeeming about him except for the fact that he hasn't really shown any signs of being sadistic. Not yet, at least. 11, early villain in the series, Craig. He is irrationally arrogant, massively overestimating his strength. He has no sense of gratitude or loyalty, cares nothing for his crew, and shows no redeemable qualities whatsoever. The only reason he isn't higher on the list is because his actions don't amount to much other than typical piracy. Beating out Don Craig is number 10, Kuru. Same boat as Craig, but nothing redeeming about him, but with more of a sadistic streak. Kills his crew members for no reason. Number 9 on our list, Rob Lucy. The cold sociopath and sadist. He expressed disgust at Spandam's abuse of Robin, showing he has very rare and selective sense of morals. Beating him out is the guy that was beating up Robin, Spandam. He's a despicable human being, beats a woman, and doesn't care in the slightest for innocent lives. He would be higher, but he was raised by a terrible person, so who knows if he had ever had a chance. Now, speaking about raising humans, the person who raised Sanji for a little bit. Number 7, Vinsmoke Judge. He inflicts severe emotional abuse on his own son, only cares for his other children as long as they're useful, cares nothing for his soldiers, and forced his wife to turn their children into sociopaths. Absolutely loathsome person, no morals apart from some sense of gratitude. Now the Fishman Island arc, number 6, Hody Jones. He has no empathy whatsoever for humans, and unlike Arlong, he doesn't care much about his fellow fishmen either. He hasn't experienced much racism himself, basing his hatred of humans entirely on his sense of superiority. Showing no remorse of any kind for his actions, it's debatable if he cares for his fellow fishmen at all. Now, talking about a fishman, one of Kaido's henchmen, number 5, Jack the Drought. Unlike his boss, he has a clear sadistic streak. He very nearly committed mass murder on an entire city that was willing to cooperate with him. Unlike Crocodile, he very nearly succeeded at mass murder. Taking the number 4 slot, one of my favorite villains of all time, Don Quixote do Flamingo. As traumatic as his childhood was, he already showed signs of celestial elitism, expressing disdain for commoners and seeing slavery as normal. As an adult, he is by far one of the most sadistic villains in the series, finding death and pain to be very amusing. He expressed nothing but anger when he killed his father and brother. While he might have felt a bit of compassion for his crew, I believe he was capable of killing them at the drop of a hat, all at the same time. Now our number 3 slot, with much deliberation, Kurozumi Orochi. Having been twisted by the Kozuki family's unfair persecution since his childhood, Orochi is an extremely cruel and oppressive tyrant who takes joy in making his subjects suffer as revenge for his family's persecution. Orochi is extremely domineering and unreasonable, with absolutely no tolerance of anyone defying him or speaking ill of him, even if it's out of his earshot and in casual discussion. He is petty enough to mercilessly attack and kill anyone who offends him, whether they are a man, woman, or child, though may hesitate with a woman he has feelings for. 2. Caesar Clown. It doesn't get much more evil than kidnapping children, experimenting on them, and eventually killing them as he planned. He has no care or loyalty for his subordinates, has no qualms about committing genocide through chemical warfare, released poison into air in a hissy fit, and was shown to be egomaniacal. The number 1 slot and the only person or people that could take over Caesar Clown is the Celestial Dragons. They are easily number 1. Systematic oppression, humiliation, and demeaning others. Slavery, the eraser of history. They eclipse everything any other villain has done by far. We don't even know how atrocious the events that occurred during the Void Century actually were. We don't know anything about Eam or much about the CDs in general, so it's likely they're even worse than we've ever seen so far, and they don't think they're doing anything wrong. Let me know what you guys think about this list. Do you guys agree? What would your list be? Who would you put at the top? Who would you even put on the list? Let me know down in the comments. Talk to you guys next time. Later.